Naruto, in this timeline, had the 10 tails sealed inside of him instead of the 9 tails. We skip to Naruto at age 5 as he enters the academy. He has truth-seeking orbs behind him at all times, and no one dares to come near him. Each moment, the 10 tails is trying to take over Naruto's consciousness, and Naruto finds it extremely hard to stay sane. Naruto finds it hard to control his overwhelming chakra. Naruto walks into class. His pale white skin and grey eyes are enough to scare everyone away from him. Naruto can never concentrate in class, and thus is bottom of the class in everything other than taijutsu. Naruto is top in taijutsu as he is unable to control his strength, and a simple punch into the air creates enough force to knock down even Chunin. Every day, Naruto works hard to keep the 10 tails from gaining control. Each second feels like hell for Naruto, and the seal gets looser every day. For 5 years, Naruto trains and studies sealing jutsu in order to suppress the Jubi. And through these 5 years of vigorous training, Naruto masters the 5-element seal. Because Naruto is a Jinchuriki of the 10 tails, he has an affinity for all chakra natures. Naruto performs the seal on himself and manages to seal the Jubi to the point where it can't take over his consciousness easily. For the next 2 years, Naruto becomes slightly better at chakra control and also gains a lot of knowledge by spending extra time in school learning many things, such as martial arts techniques, and he also figured out himself how to make shadow clones. And he has grasped the full concept of them and is able to use them to its fullest potential. Naruto, with his immense chakra, can summon 1,000 clones casually. Naruto uses these clones to catch up in all the basics of being a shinobi and many taijutsu skills, as well as ninjutsu and genjutsu. Naruto was also very persistent on increasing his speed to extreme levels. However, Naruto has to be careful when using all of these clones, because when he uses these clones, he has to make the seal every other day, otherwise it would become too loose, as shadow clones give back what happened to the clones. Therefore, the seal gets looser a lot quicker. We now skip to the graduation of Naruto. Naruto passes unlike in the original, and doesn't have to take the scroll of sealing. Naruto is on the same team as Hiruzen wants Naruto to be under the wing of the strongest jonin in the leaf, Kakashi. We skip to when Kakashi meets Team 7. Kakashi calls him up to the roof for introductions. Naruto would say, "I don't like or dislike anything, and currently my dream is for respect from the villagers." Sasuke and Sakura's are the same, and Kakashi tells Team 7 to meet at the training grounds the next day and don't eat breakfast, otherwise they'll puke. We now skip to Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura waiting. Naruto has fallen into a light sleep to the point where he will know when Kakashi is there. Naruto's current jutsu are Fire Style Dragon Missile, Water Style Raging Waves, Lightning Style Purple Lightning, Earth Style Mud Wall, and Wind Style Gale Palm. Finally, Kakashi arrives. Naruto sits up and Kakashi explains the bell test and tells Team 7 to get ready. Kakashi then says to begin. All 3 members scattered, and Naruto makes a shadow clone to test out the strength of Kakashi. The clone walks out as it rushes towards Kakashi and goes toe to toe with him. This is Kakashi without a Sharingan. Naruto then grabs one bell and rushes off. Kakashi is disappointed that Naruto would choose only to save himself. However, Naruto's clone finds Sakura and gives her the bell. The real Naruto then walks out and tells Kakashi to use his full power. Kakashi thinks about this, but doesn't think of it as unnecessary. However, Naruto then says, maybe you'll change your mind, as the bell was stolen by one of my clones. This startles Kakashi a little as he pulls up his headband reluctantly. Naruto then uses hand seals for the fire-style flame missile, which almost hits Kakashi, but is narrowly dodged. However, Naruto then uses water-style raging waves in unison with lightning-style purple lightning. This catches Kakashi off guard and electrocutes him. Kakashi is then hit with a kick from behind as Naruto swipes the second bell and throws it to Sasuke. This leads to Team 7 passing the test, becoming Genin. Naruto, when training with Jiraiya, begins by learning the summoning jutsu. This is easy for him, as he summons Gamabunta without trouble due to his massive chakra reserves. Unlike in canon, Gamabunta accepts Naruto immediately, as he has his Sage of Six Paths mode, and Gamabunta consents that he has Sage of Six Paths mode. Jiraiya then teaches Naruto the Rasengan. He starts off learning the first phase, which takes him less than a minute. He then gets onto the second phase. The second phase takes him a bit longer, but he manages to learn it within a day. Then, 2 weeks pass, and he finally masters the Rasengan. Jiraiya then believes that Naruto is just such a prodigy that he'll take him to Mount Miyaboku to learn Sage Mode. Little does Jiraiya know that Naruto has Sage of Six Paths mode. Naruto gets to Mount Miyaboku, and he absorbs a huge amount of nature energy. Within 10 seconds, Naruto absorbed 20% of all nature energy in Mount Miyaboku. Naruto then proceeded to spar with Jiraiya for the next couple of weeks. Naruto had never lost to Jiraiya. He was always winning, and Jiraiya would always have to use Sage Mode, whilst Naruto was in base. Naruto had also increased his taijutsu technique to that of a mid-rank Jonin. This concludes the 1 month training period. Naruto then goes back to the village and gets ready for the Chunin exams. The Chunin exams then start. The fights go similar to in canon. Tamari beats Shikamaru. Sakura loses to a sound ninja. Lee and Sasuke draw, but Lee was more injured as Sasuke had learnt a lot more and now had the 3 Tomoe Sharingan in both eyes. Naruto's fight with Neji then begins. Naruto immediately blitzes behind Neji into his blind spot. Neji then tries to find where Naruto went with his Byakugan. Naruto then swipes Neji's legs from behind as Neji falls onto the ground. Naruto then moves back to his start location. Neji then gets aggravated and charges at Naruto. Naruto then uses a fire-style Great Flame Jutsu, burning Neji's clothes and sending him flying back. Neji once again charges at Naruto using the 8 trigrams 128 palm technique, which Naruto dodges every single one. Neji then goes for one more palm strike. However, Naruto catches it. He then forms a Rasengan and slams it towards Neji, but he dissipates it just before. Neji faints from fear and Naruto ends up winning. The Leaf Invasion then begins, but because Orochimaru doesn't have Shukaku on his side, and he also doesn't have the Sand Ninja on his side, he is highly outnumbered when he tries to fight the Hokage. He fights with both the Hokage and the Kazekage, which causes Orochimaru to have to retreat, as he may have died otherwise. Naruto and Sasuke help Kakashi and Guy defeat the Sound Ninja, and everything is wrapped up quickly. The Sound basically gets wiped out, as they weren't too big of a village to begin with. This finishes the Konoha crush. However, in this timeline, it didn't really get crushed at all. 1 week later, Shikamaru, Sasuke, Lee, Naruto, and Neji are called into the Hokage's office. Hiruzen then hands each of them a package with a note and a vest. Hiruzen then says congratulations. They all open their packages and read the note, which confirms them to have become Chunin. However, Naruto says to Hiruzen, "Lord Third, I think I have the wrong package." Hiruzen asks, "Why is that, Naruto?" Naruto responds, "It reads on the note, 'Congratulations, you are now a Jonin of the Hidden Leaf Village.'" Hiruzen says, "Yes, that's correct. That's what it's supposed to say, Naruto." Everyone in the room is shocked as Naruto, at the age of 13, has become a Jonin. The last person to do that was Itachi Uchiha, and before that, Kakashi Hatake. Hiruzen continues on saying, Team 7's forces now consist of 2 Jonin, 1 Chunin, and 1 Genin. Therefore, you shall be taking on B-rank missions, and the occasional A-rank mission. Naruto and Sasuke nod, and Hiruzen then looks to Naruto and says, "Naruto, you will soon build a name for yourself, and you will get a nickname from the other villages, and will most likely be in the next bingo book." Naruto nods once more, and then Hiruzen dismisses them. 1 year passes as Naruto has gained the nickname Naruto the White Shadow. Sasuke has also become a Jonin, gaining the nickname Lightning Bearer Sasuke, as he has also developed Kirin in this timeline. That's where the lightning part came from. Sakura has also become a Chunin, and over the years they have completed 6 A-rank missions and 30 B-rank missions. Naruto is then invited to go train with Jiraiya for the next 2 years. Naruto graciously accepts this, as he is excited to train with Jiraiya once again. Tsunade is persuaded by the Third to become Hokage, and when she does, she decides to take Sakura on as her student. Kakashi then trains Sasuke. We now skip 2 more years, and Naruto has returned with Jiraiya. Naruto at this point has strength similar to that of Jubi Madara with no God Tree. Kakashi is similar to his War Arc self, and Sasuke had awakened his Mangekyo on a mission where Kakashi had almost died. He is about as strong as himself against Killer Bee. Sakura has been promoted to Jonin, as she learns the 100 healing mark a lot sooner in this timeline. 1 week later, the Pain invasion begins. He plans to take Naruto and extract the Jubi from Madara. He uses the giant almighty push immediately and finds Naruto, as he is the only one who is basically unaffected. Pain brought along Itachi, Kisame, Kakuzu, and Hidan. Naruto fights Pain, Itachi fights Sasuke, Sakura and Tsunade fight Kakuzu, Jiraiya fights Kisame, and Kakashi and Asuma team up with Ina Shikacho to fight Hidan. Sasuke ends up killing Itachi, who tells him the truth, and also tells Sasuke to use his eyes to get the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, which Sasuke does. Jiraiya beats Kisame, but is quite injured. Kakashi and Team 8 beat Hidan, and Tsunade and Sakura beat Kakuzu. During the fight between Naruto and Pain, Pain tells Naruto that he has killed 5,000 Leaf villagers in the blast. This enrages Naruto, and his eyes begin to flicker from grey to blue to red and finally to purple, as Naruto has finally activated the Rinnegan, which he has always possessed, as otherwise he wouldn't have had the 10 tails. Naruto then proceeds to destroy Pain and finds Nagato, and unlike in the original, he revived Madara instead of the villagers. Kabuto, at this point, already allied with Tobi, and the war then begins much earlier. Tobi wants to capture Naruto and extract the 10 tails and complete the Project Infinite Tsukiyomi. Tobi appears before Tsunade, and the Third explaining his plan and how he would be declaring war on all 5 nations A 5 Kage summit is immediately held, and an alliance is immediately installed. Kabuto immediately brings out all of his reanimation summons. However, in this timeline, he also has 3 Hokage at his disposal, this being the 1st, 2nd, and 4th, as well as the other dead Kage. Naruto, during the war, combats all the previous Kage, and Madara at the same time, with the most amount of power he can use, which is a third of the Ten Tails' power. Naruto is pretty much winning. Sasuke then joins in the fight with Naruto, and is doing well combating Madara, who is slightly stronger than him in this timeline. The fights carry on, and Naruto manages to seal away a few Kage. However, Obito then revives Madara. Zetsu then gives Madara a Rinnegan. Sasuke is now losing a bit worse now, and Naruto finally seals all Kage but Minato. Sasuke then gets stabbed by Madara, rendering him almost dead. And Naruto then begins to think to himself, he's dead. What's the point? This war? Why? Naruto begins to let the Ten Tails take over as he fades into darkness. Whilst almost dead, Sasuke and Naruto meet Hagoromo, and due to the condition of Naruto, who has been enveloped by the Ten Tails, Hagoromo gives Naruto and Sasuke 2 times the amount of chakra he did in the first place, as he wants them to be equal, at least equal in what strength he gives them. Naruto needed the extra chakra to control the Ten Tails. Madara then runs to the God Tree trying to escape. Naruto and Sasuke's sudden improvement causes Black Zetsu to merge with Madara, and then proceed to summon the chakra from the God Tree and chakra from around the world to revive Kaguya. Madara then becomes Kaguya, and the full moon then comes along as Kaguya opens up her Rinne Sharingan. Naruto then uses his immense power to do the same thing as he also awakens his Rinne Sharingan. Sasuke shields himself with the Susanoo, however Naruto is unaffected due to having the same dojutsu. Naruto combats Kaguya and is winning the fight with relative ease, which frustrates Kaguya. The moonlight then begins to fade as Sasuke begins to help Naruto. Naruto and Sasuke work together, though it wasn't really needed for them to win, and easily they manage to seal away Kaguya. Sasuke still gets the Rinnegan, and he gets the same evolved Rinnegan, which allows him to travel through dimensions, and his ability to switch places with objects. Sasuke is twice as strong as his canon self, and is arguably a lot stronger than his adult self. Naruto is several times stronger than his adult self due to having an extra 8-tailed beasts and the Gedomazo. Naruto and Sasuke never had their final battle, as Sasuke knew Naruto would outright pulverize him. We now skip to the last. Almost everything goes the same until Naruto infiltrates Tonari's castle. Naruto immediately blitzes around the castle in search for Tonari. He then crashes the wedding between Tonari and Hinata. Naruto then takes Hinata and puts him behind her, so fast that Tonari couldn't even see him move. Tonari would then activate the Tenseigan cloak, attempting to fight Naruto. They would clash many times, but Naruto wouldn't be trying. Tonari would then charge at Naruto, punching him with all of his might, but Naruto catches this punch and uses a Rasengan to one-shot Tonari. Tonari then says the moon won't come back to Earth, as Hinata takes Hanabi's eyes. Naruto would then get married to Hinata, and later Boruto and Himawari are born. Boruto would still be the same as in canon, having the Jogan, which can't be seen right now. Naruto would raise them both until he finally became Hokage. Over this time, Naruto would find out his Rinnegan ability is the same as Sasuke's. However, he only has one ability, which is to cross dimensions, unlike Sasuke, who can also switch places with things. However, Naruto is blatantly superior to Sasuke. We'd skip to the Momoshiki arc. As Naruto, as everything would happen the same as in canon. However, when Momoshiki kicks Naruto, he catches the kick and then slams Momoshiki into the ground. Naruto would then grab Boruto and take him towards Sasuke. He would then tell Sasuke to look after Boruto as he jumps up, opening a portal behind Momoshiki and Kinshiki and hitting them both into the portal. Naruto would then follow and enter into the other dimension. Naruto, instead of being captured, would combat the two, overwhelming them quite easily. Naruto knocks them both down as they are kneeling to Naruto's power. The 5 Kage, Sasuke and Boruto, would arrive, seeing Naruto towering over his opponents. Momoshiki gets up, panting heavily, and absorbs Kinshiki. Naruto jumps back. Momoshiki proceeds to knock out the 4 Kage. Momoshiki then looks at Boruto and goes to attack him. Naruto speeds past Momoshiki and kicks Momoshiki away from Boruto. Naruto then looks at Momoshiki and says, "How dare you try to harm my son? I was going to capture you, but now I think I'm going to kill you." Naruto then powers up to the max and is leagues ahead of Momoshiki in power. Even without the Ten Tails power, he can fight Momoshiki on even footing. Naruto then blitzes towards Momoshiki and grabs him by the neck, so fast that Sasuke had trouble seeing him. Naruto begins tightening his grip as he crushes Momoshiki's neck. He then chucks him onto the ground as Naruto stomps on Momoshiki's head, finishing him off. This means that Naruto gets the Karma Seal. We skip a few days after Naruto is training Boruto. And Naruto is training Boruto. Naruto tells Boruto that he is sorry for being a bad father, and that he's going to make sure he's better from now on. Boruto thanks him, and Naruto then asks Boruto to come towards him. Boruto does so, and Naruto gives Boruto 3 tails worth of Bijou Chakra. Naruto then tells Boruto to use the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Boruto does this and summons 500 clones, all with huge amounts of chakra. Naruto tells Boruto that they are going to train with these clones and make him stronger a lot quicker. 10 days pass and Boruto has been training hard with Naruto every day with the use of clones. He has technically trained 5,000 days. Boruto has now mastered the Rasengan and can use wind, lightning and fire style. Naruto also has his clones training and investigating the mark on his hand. Sasuke is also investigating. Boruto is progressing incredibly fast due to Naruto helping. Another 10 days pass and Boruto is now almost as strong as Konohamaru. Naruto intends to train Boruto for another 10 days and then let him go out on missions once again. Naruto needs to make sure Boruto is strong enough. Boruto is on his way. Boruto is on his last day of training and is about 90% of his Karma Seal self against Kashin Koji. Naruto ends up being able to use the Karma Seal partially, however, not so it goes all the way up onto his face. Just as they are having one final spar, Boruto awakens the Jogan, and Naruto immediately notices and tells Boruto that they will be training one more day because of his newly awakened Dojutsu. After the day, Boruto can now use the Jogan twice a day before running out of chakra. He is now slightly stronger than his Karma Seal self. The time travel arc then begins. Sasuke still ends up being Boruto's teacher, and everything goes similar than in canon. However, when Sasuke kills Oroshiki, he receives a Karma Seal from him. Sasuke reports back that if you kill a Otsutsuki, you receive this seal. Naruto takes this into consideration and asks Sasuke to investigate further. Sasuke agrees to this. Naruto also says he will investigate, as he's not really busy right now. 1 week later, Boruto Mitsuki, Sarada, and Konohamaru are setting out on a mission. Whilst on the mission, they take out several bandits, and the whole team notices Boruto's improvements. The whole team asks Boruto how he's become so strong. Boruto replies, "I've been training with Dad for the past month. He has been using a special method where I can borrow his chakra when I train." Sarada looks at Boruto and says, "No fair." Suddenly, Ao appears. The new Team 7 are swiftly dealing with him when a giant toad appears and crushes this man. The man on top introduces himself as Kashin Koji. They then begin combat. During the fight, Boruto activates the Jogan, causing Kashin Koji to be interested. After wearing Team 7 down, he leaves them alone, as he is interested in Boruto. This is where Team 7 finds Kawaki and notices his karma seal. Boruto says that they need to take this guy back to the village. Once back in the village, Kawaki is asleep for the next 7 days. During that time, Naruto tells Sasuke to come back to the village, and Naruto trains Boruto, Sarada, and Konohamaru by giving them his chakra and having them use 500 clones each. When training, Naruto didn't train Mitsuki, as he said he would be training with his parent, this being Orochimaru. During this week, Boruto becomes 25% stronger than his Karma Seal self in canon. When he uses a Jogan, Sarada awakens a 3-Tomoe Sharingan in both eyes and is as strong as Valley of the End Curse Mark II Sasuke. Konohamaru trains more effectively with his clones, therefore he maxes out his results. At this point he is 25% stronger than Boruto. Mitsuki returns and is about the same strength as Sarada. Sasuke also returns as Kawaki wakes up. Naruto walks towards Kawaki in the Hokage office. When Kawaki tries to escape, Naruto catches him. And for the time being, Kawaki gives up on escaping. Kawaki is in the Hokage's office, and Naruto is looking at the door, waiting for Sasuke to arrive. When Kawaki attempts to escape again, Naruto immediately stands in front of the window, before Kawaki could even get there. He then flexes half of his 10 Tails power. This scares Kawaki, and he gives up on trying to escape, for now. However, then Naruto releases all of his power, and Kawaki thinks to himself that Naruto may be stronger than Jigen. A few minutes later, Sasuke walks into the Hokage's office, and once again, Kawaki realizes that he has zero chance of escaping due to sensing Sasuke's incredible power. Naruto stands up, and Sasuke and Naruto walk towards Kawaki. As they put their hands out and ask, "What's this mark on our hands?" Kawaki is even more shocked now, as it seems they both have a Karma Seal on top of their already immense power. Kawaki then says, "This mark is a Karma Seal, and you can do something like this with it." Kawaki then activates his Karma Seal. This causes Naruto and Sasuke's Karma Seal to also activate, as Naruto has already activated his, but partially before. It doesn't hurt too much, however Sasuke drops to one knee from the pain of the seal activating. Sasuke gets himself together and manages to stand back up. Naruto and Sasuke can feel a boost in their power, and they are surprised. Later on, Boruto and Sarada enter the room to ask who the person they brought back to the village was. They all begin talking. Then Sasuke interrupts and says, "Naruto, there is something very important we need to talk about." Naruto raises an eyebrow to this, as Sasuke says, "I found another 10 Tails." Naruto stands up and tells Sasuke that they need to seal it or get rid of it now. Sasuke says he knows and tells Naruto to come with him. Naruto tells Boruto to look after Kawaki. As he leaves with Sasuke brings Naruto to the 10 Tails, and Naruto asks Sasuke what they think they should do. Sasuke replies, "We could kill it, however, I brought it to you as you are a Jinchuriki of one."
So what do you think? Naruto then says, Sasuke, you can absorb chakra. Can you absorb it into something else? Sasuke says it's worth a shot. As they return to the leaf and get the first thing they see, which is an apple. They then return and manage to seal most of this chakra into the apple. Naruto and Sasuke then eat half, as they saw Momoshiki doing the same thing. This gives them a huge boost in strength. They then proceed to slay the 10 Tails that has almost no chakra left, with relative ease. They then return to the village, and Sasuke says he is leaving to investigate the Kara organization. As for Naruto, he continues training himself with clones, and he trains Team 7 and Kawaki. Naruto decides that the Kara organization is a huge threat, and he wants to train the entire new generation. Naruto tells Boruto that he wants the new generation to assemble here in 1 hour, and Boruto should go fetch them all. He then says that Boruto should take Kawaki with him too. Boruto agrees, and Naruto waits in the training grounds. An hour passes, and each of the members of the new Konoha 12 and their sensei assemble. Naruto gives each one of them enough chakra to create 500 clones. Naruto then instructs all of them to train with these clones in various exercises. Naruto then summons his own clones to train for him while he observes everyone else's training. A couple of weeks pass, and Kawaki and Boruto are now both similar strength, with Boruto being slightly superior. Kawaki is about 40% of Delta, and Boruto is 42% of Delta. Sarada and Mitsuki are both 30% of Delta, and the rest of the teams are around 10 to 15%. But all the other senseis, apart from Konohamaru, are 40 to 45% of Delta. However, Konohamaru is 90%. This is because Naruto has trained Konohamaru extra, and he has mastered Sage Mode, as he is handling the strongest team. Naruto then says to all of them that as their final exercise, they will not be gaining any of his chakra for his clones. They will be doing a team exercise. He then says, today we will be having a 16 versus 1, but not versus me. Naruto then makes a cross formation with his hands and creates a shadow clone and says, this is a better fight. Naruto then says, begin, as he transforms his clothes so they won't mistake his clone for him. The fight then begins, with all of them rushing at Naruto's clone. However, Naruto's clone dodges all of these punches, as he uses Earth-style mud wall and surrounds himself in a wall. He then jumps out and uses a Rasengan beam on Konohamaru, who gets slightly injured. Naruto then stands still for a second and activates Sage Mode. Naruto then uses Body Flicker to knock out all teams apart from Team 7, not including the senseis. Boruto then rushes at Naruto at top speed, throwing a barrage of punches. Kawaki then joins in, throwing a barrage of kicks and punches. Naruto then catches a punch from Boruto and a kick from Kawaki, which he uses to throw them at two of the sensei. Sage Mode then deactivates. Konohamaru then activates a Wind-style Rasengan, and in response Naruto does the same. Naruto then clashes with Konohamaru, who gets sent flying back, as Naruto is superior in strength. Konohamaru then activates Sage Mode, and then they all use an 8-person seal to try to seal Naruto's clone. However, Naruto activates Sage Mode and breaks the seal with relative ease. Naruto could have done this in base, however, it would have been a little harder. Naruto is now far too strong for the others to handle, which leads them getting knocked out quickly. Everyone wakes back up, and Naruto says that he's impressed that they made his clone use Sage Mode. They will say thank you, and Naruto then says he permits them to do missions again. We now skip A couple weeks later, when Boruto, Kawaki, Naruto, and Sasuke are in his home, when suddenly Jigen appears and tells Naruto to hand over Kawaki. Naruto says no, which makes Jigen smirk, and he says, "I thought you might say that." Jigen then opens a portal, which Naruto follows him into. Naruto tells Sasuke to stay there and to follow him if he doesn't come back within 5 minutes. Big shout out to Headhunter for making my intro. Feel free to check out his channel. We left off with Jigen appearing in front of Naruto, Sasuke, Kawaki, and Boruto. Jigen said that he wants Kawaki to be handed over to him. However, Naruto didn't allow that, and Jigen opened up a portal, which Naruto decided to kick him into and begin combating him. Naruto immediately rushed at Jigen, and he punches him square in the face. Jigen was astounded by Naruto's power, and continues fighting, as he is being overwhelmed. Jigen then makes himself smaller. However, Naruto manages to sense him, and kicks him with a chakra enhanced kick. This makes Jigen revert to normal form and cough up blood, and he is unsure if he can actually beat Naruto. Naruto then activates his Karma Seal, and Jigen decides to transform into Ishiki or Tsutsuki. Naruto then begins fighting him once again. Naruto feels like he might be getting a little overwhelmed, however he uses Boil Release to overpower Ishiki. Ishiki then says, "Naruto Uzumaki, I never imagined you'd be so powerful." Naruto then says, "You'll be finished soon enough." Naruto would then rush at Ishiki, powering himself up to the max and begin smashing all the small objects in the vicinity. Naruto would then use Planetary Devastation. He would then launch the boulder at Ishiki using Almighty Push. Ishiki would then make this small, and it wouldn't really affect him. However, in this split second, Naruto would punch Ishiki and punch him into the ground. Ishiki would then make himself small and punch Naruto several times. However, Naruto would manage to locate him and get him off of him. Ishiki would then use his Dojutsu to release a giant Jubi Bomb. This would be fired at Naruto. However, Naruto throws a Tailed Beast Rasen Shuriken at it. However, Ishiki would shrink this attack, and Naruto would be hit by the full force of the Jubi Bomb. Naruto would cough up some blood and fall to his knees. Ishiki would walk over to him and pick him up by the hair and knee him several times in the stomach before punching him away. Naruto would then begin to use more power from the Karma Seal. And use this power to heal himself. He would then rush at Ishiki once again, punching him before he can make himself small again. Naruto would then say, "Today will be your end." Ishiki laughs and says, "My name is Ishiki Otsutsuki, and I stand far above a vulgar life form such as yourself. Although I must say your strength is commendable." Naruto would then say, "Reinforcements should be here soon anyways." As Naruto would say this, Sasuke would appear through a portal and would power up, seeing Naruto and Ishiki in slightly injured states. Naruto and Sasuke would then tag team and would almost kill Ishiki. Naruto then tells Sasuke to move as he activates Boil Release and punches Ishiki, killing him. Ishiki would then try to put a Karma on Naruto. However, because he already has the Karma Seal, he ends up just giving Naruto his power. Naruto, with his newly awakened, overwhelming power, will be able to break the Karma Seal he has and absorb that power into his base. Naruto would then walk over to Sasuke and break his Karma Seal, allowing Sasuke to absorb that power into his base.
Naruto and Sasuke would then return to the Leaf Village. Kawaki and Boruto would rush to Naruto and Sasuke, as Naruto is huffing from gaining so much incredible power, not from being injured. Kawaki would ask about Jigen, and Sasuke would say he transformed into an Otsutsuki named Ishiki, and Naruto had almost killed him by the time I arrived. Naruto had figured out how to break the Karma seals as well, as he has such potent chakra now. Boruto and Kawaki would be surprised at hearing that Naruto almost beat Ishiki by himself, and a more powerful one than Kawaki even knew. However, they would be relieved. After this, everything would go back to normal, and Naruto would hold a summit and explain everything, including Ishiki Otsutsuki's goal. However, due to Naruto and Sasuke being so strong, they believe that they may be able to fend off everyone else. Furthermore, because Naruto and Sasuke are so strong, the rest of the Otsutsuki clan would decide to leave Earth alone, as they have been rumoured to kill many Otsutsuki members, this being Kaguya, Momoshiki, Kinshiki, Urashiki, and Ishiki. Boruto and Kawaki then become two of the strongest of their generation, being comparable to 75% of current Naruto, as Naruto had bestowed some power upon him and Kawaki. Konohamaru would have similar power to KCM Sage Mode Naruto, and will succeed Naruto and become Hokage when he was 65. Sarada will eventually become Hokage when Naruto is 75, and would have power comparable to Kinshiki. Konohamaru stepped down from his position as he suffered an injury, and he felt that he was unfit to be Hokage, although he was still around 3rd Raikage level. Due to Naruto and Sasuke getting incredible power-ups from the Otsutsuki, they also gained a sort of youth-like state, making them look like they were in their 20s, even though they are in their 70s. Hinata also learns medical ninjutsu from Sakura and masters the 100 healings mark, and along with Sakura, they gain more youth as well. Mitsuki has also become extremely powerful, and when he uses Sage Mode, he is comparable to KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto in the War Arc. Naruto and Sasuke still train with the others, and still are far above everyone that currently exists. This concludes the What If. I hope you all enjoyed, and consider liking and subscribing, as this is the finale to the What If. My next What If will be coming out soon. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.